Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's August 22nd, 2026, and today the sun goes into the sign of Virgo. So, happy birthday to all the Virgos out there. I will be creating a video about Virgo. Hi, Annie, TG, LJ, Fred, Nick. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? I just want to make sure you can all hear me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in. I'm going to play my little theme song. Hi, Annie. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, excellent, excellent. And I noticed that somebody unplugged one of the motion sensor lights outside. I couldn't understand why it wasn't coming on. And now I see that it's unplugged. You know, just so many of the lights are unplugged. Okay, good. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I do have the dryer going on in the background in case you hear some cat blankets tumbling around. Hi, Land Shark. It's Saturday. I know. It just went so fast. Hi, No Gang Stalkers. Welcome. Owl, Fringe. Welcome. Welcome. Hope everybody's doing well. Remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in. I know. It's going so fast. Like the weeks are just flying by. Like everything is just so busy. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Jersey girl with perfect plans. Garden raising my daughter, healing cats with gentle hands. I play the song because it makes the perps cringe. Yeah, it's rough. So I packed up everything I loved and drove south to be free, but freedom wasn't far enough. Now I'm alternative, I'm setting flames, kind of risky queen, the targeting got every other day. I crossed the Kentucky line, drawn to my sky, saboteurs in my gate, forget that this on my feet. They're trying to steal my land, but this soul's rooted deep in me. From an elephant to this red dirt, fire tried to bury me. Baby, watch me rise, watch me grow. Oh, watch me grow. Black helicopters buzzing low, surveyors I never hired. Fake lions on my title, threats in the mail, just walk away, retire. But every kidnapped bottle feed, every roll of port I sold is another middle finger to the cowards hiding in the shadows. Calling love on YouTube every night, they thought they won't show. This farm is my fortress, my proof, my microphone. You double down in Kentucky, thought the country would swallow me whole. Jokes on you, I'm louder than ever, and I'm never letting go. Turning on a steady freeze, can't rescue queen and follow me in Kentucky and turn the war on 10 degrees. 4 streets in the courthouse, poison in my fields at night, but I'm still screaming truth beneath these Appalachian lights. You are my land, don't take it from these hands. You try to bury me, baby, watch me rise. I earned every inch of this dirt. I love reading your comments. You rehomed your cat years ago with someone and you can't get her back. Oh, no. I know. The animal abusers, oh, yeah. I mean, it's bad enough that they torture us, but when they go after the animals, no good, no good. That's right. Time passes fast when you're cutting grass all week. Very funny, very funny. I don't negotiate with bullies, Owl Fringe, so I don't really care what they say. Okay? I don't really care. Camera rolling 24/7. I'm never gonna quit. Watch me grow. Hi, this is former Navy. So some of your comments are hilarious. I think somebody wrote something like, You think by now they realize that they should give up on you because they're trying every damn thing, and I don't really give a shit what they're doing. They want my property, let them buy it. Let them buy it. They didn't buy it when it was vacant for a year and a half. They were waiting for a victim. I'm convinced they were waiting for another victim to come live on this property so they could perform their bitchcraft, their sadism, their stalking. Like, they get off on it. This is the way they get their extracurricular um owl fringe. I don't, these are, no, I have not. No, I have not. So anyway, remember to hit the thumbs up, guys. I see like there are 20 people listening. 9 thumbs up. Hi, Joe. Welcome. Yes, Joe always has some words of wisdom. Greetings to all. Never forget how far you've come from day one. You're still here and fighting. Your resilience is one of your weapons. Smile for the perps because deep inside they are miserable dolts. I love that word, dolts. I have to use that one. I have to stick that one in my vocabulary. Dolts. Yeah, so they inflict a lot of tactics on targeted people. You know, the primary tool of the narcissist is the slander campaign, the defamation, the libel, the spreading of rumor, lies. And then what they do is, the fusion center operatives, because they've been studying you for so long, they'll take some truths, some things that are true, and then mix them with a bunch of lies. So that it sounds plausible to the morons that are listening to, whatever operative is going into communities. Hi, Julius. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. The adult boys. Well, we've got a lot of adult girls too. Hi, Amy. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. We had a downpour. I wanted to tell you, Nick, when you left the comment about it always seems to rain on my property. Shortly thereafter, it got very windy and the downpour, it was like torrential for about a half an hour. And then the sun came out. This was not like a typical sun shower. It was literally a downpour. And I have to wonder if it rained anywhere else except above my property. No, nobody deserves to be stalked. Nobody. Hi, Gruntology. Welcome. Support your local Hells Angels. Well, I'm originally from New York, and the Hells Angels were actually, good people. Like, we looked forward to the Hells Angels patrolling the neighborhoods. I don't know what they're about now. I don't know if they're still the same. Hi, Skylar. Welcome. Remember to hit the thumbs up. You're in your truck outside opening in the open air and it sounded like a big object just fell on the roof, but there's nothing. Must have been a dew. Yes, yes. They'll hit you with frequencies. They do that in the Cats building. These loud bangs to the metal roof. They're frequencies. Yeah, so they love to spread lies and slander and
rev people up, because morons will listen to anything that anybody says and believe it. It's like I listen to what a lot of people say, but I have the discernment to take a step back and think, does this make sense? No, the Hells Angels would not hurt animals. In fact, they would go after animal abusers. Yes. No, no, you never give up. Because like the sort of like the preacher whose video I posted, I guess about a week ago. The one thing is, if you give up, you will never have a chance of success. If you never give up, you never know what will happen. You may be unpleasantly surprised or pleasantly surprised. But if you give up, you will never know what you may have been missing. So you never give up. I mean, life can be hard for everybody. And actually when I watch the news, I mean the news is just so disturbing. That's a really good point, Nick. People who mistreat animals do not do well in jail. You're absolutely right. Because the one thing about people when they're in jail or prison, they have their own code. They also don't like people that go in there that are coppers. They also don't like people that like little people. So they have their own code of ethics in prison, and they don't like it when you harm animals, and they don't like it when you harm little people. And if you're a copper, they don't like that either. So that's why they have to segregate. And sometimes, usually they do. The pedophiles, they'll like segregate them somewhere else because they'll be deleted. Sort of like Jeffrey Dahmer. Didn't they delete him in prison? Hi, Elsie. Welcome, welcome. Psychological violence is almost as bad as physical violence. I agree. I will say as a fact that the psychological abuse that I'm experiencing here is off the charts. And I did not experience any of this growing up. My parents were not physically abusive. They weren't psychologically abusive. Sure, they made mistakes and stuff, but what is happening to me? I mean, this is just insanity. Hi, HH. Let's see. At one point, I looked up all their crimes in Safari and sentences for them. Just an idea. Didn't work, but it made them mad, which is probably good. Those who say it's behavior modification program are wrong. Nothing we do or don't do stops the targeting. It's a slow genocide. And has it changed? Is it changing our behavior? I mean, the only thing that is changing is honestly, since I moved to Kentucky, the F word. I can't even imagine how many times a day I use the F word, whether it's under my breath, out loud. Hi, Dominic. Welcome. Have you read Control of Candy Jones? I I don't think so. Yeah, Kentucky sucks. There are parts of Kentucky that are absolutely beautiful. The land is so pretty, the mountains are majestic, very pretty, all kinds of little wildlife and beautiful little birds, orioles, hummingbirds, bats. It's so cool. Like I really like the wildlife. Yes, gruntology. And speaking of which, in my small town of under 800 people, there are 3 of those such lodges. Yes, right here. Yeah. And I know, and the reason I call them out is because they're so stupid. They leave all their symbols behind. Hi, Eden. Welcome, welcome. But and then some people say, well, maybe they're just pretending to be. Maybe they're mocking or emulating or pretending to be Masons. For intimidation tactics. But no, they are literally lodges around here, and I know that the local perpetrators are part of that boys club. And then you've got that satanic temple in Louisville, which just happens to be next to the FBI. Imagine. Yeah. You may need to get a safe place outside of the nest of I got you. I got you, Eden. Oh, in Omaha, Nebraska? 10. Oh my goodness. Well, there was a link that a targeted female sent to me, and they changed it. And the link was where you can find all the Masonic lodges in the country by address, location. Okay, I see you, Eden. Yes, the occult infiltrated all positions in societies. Yeah, there's no reason for us to be watched. It's nobody's business what we do. And I don't know about you guys, but prior to all of this, like I was an incredibly private person. Hi, Cordyvet. Welcome, welcome. Oh, thank you. Thank you. The little dog biscuit. That's so cute. Thank you for the jewels. I don't even know what it means, but thank you. I appreciate it. Hi, Matson. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You might just chilling out in the woods, buck naked alone, minding your own. That's right. That's right, Eden. They're sexually deviant. And you know who said it perfectly? Kay Griggs. Like, I love that woman. Like, I would love to have lunch with her. They eat poo too, they do. I would love to have lunch with Kay Griggs and have her tell me straight to my face that they hide behind trees, that they're immature, that they're bisexual, they're perverts and hate women. Oh, it's not good to play with that Ouija board. Do not do that. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. I didn't know. I was warned about it after I told somebody I was talking to online. I said, "Oh, we're just playing with the Ouija board," and like the guy I was talking to, the musician, he just freaked out. He says, He do not do that because it opens up portals that might bring something into your house." Hi, Pamela, welcome. So I never used it again. I know Kay Griggs. Oh yeah, I would love to have lunch with her. I gotta find that woman. I think she's in the Carolinas somewhere. Well, we can ignore creepy. If anybody hears that creepy voice in the background, it's is compliments of the perps. They hijack the live stream, they hijack the cameras. hijacked my phone. They changed the settings on my phone. And I was listening to just before the live stream. I didn't even finish it. Hi, Skylar. Welcome. Sir Judah, welcome. And I was listening to David A. interviewing this man named Gregory. And they were talking about the parasites. And the one thing that that the parasites don't like is nicotine. So I am chewing nicotine gum now. Hi, Jenny. Jenny, welcome. That's exactly right. I'm not even going to say what you said to Skylar about those 3-letter agencies. They have fake targeted individuals. They make videos. It's difficult to find that are true TIs. Well, there are several. I actually had to send a takedown notice to 2 of them. They've been taking my videos and posting them on their channel as their own. So I had to send them a copyright to takedown. And YouTube, I mean, it's really interesting. Normally, it would have taken a little bit longer, but this is really fascinating. YouTube took down the copyrighted videos because it recognized my voice. That the videos that were posted on those other people's channels had my voice. It wasn't even the images. And YouTube was able to take down the videos because my voice matched those videos. Hi, his girl, welcome. Yeah, I did not know that. I did not know that about Ouija boards. I just figured it was another form of divination. Back in the day, it was like a parlor game, and there were a lot of parlor games, like in the Renaissance and 1800s. The phone is a scrying mirror. Well, I will tell you, it's a fact, because I have dabbled in. I don't like the word occult. I mean, spirituality. Like, I've studied numerology from the time I was like a little kid, and then astrology, numerology, astrology. I have done scrying. My mother was totally psychic. A motorcycle. Well, you know what? Don't always listen to what occultists say, because what they do is they will plant that seed and you will ruminate on that and you will actually cause it to happen to yourself. Hi, Dominic. Welcome. I don't think it started when I was a child, but you never know, because, like I said, like, first of all, my father was very scientific. He was very intuitive, very creative. He's an Aquarius, right? So if anybody's here is an Aquarian, he marched to a different beat, highly intelligent, very high IQ. My mother was very psychic, like extremely psychic, and she was beautiful also, very pretty. Let's see. The honey pots are everywhere. They keep sending these guys that are young enough to be my grandchildren. I get no honey pots here. They only send me cats. Let's see. Both of your parents acted very strange. Well, astrology, is or astronomy, and that's what it is. Astrology is nothing more than astronomy, but it is an art form, and it's like an art form and a science commingled together. And what astrology is you look up at the planets in the sky, right? They have different positions, they have different angles, and wherever the planets are in the sky, have a geometric relationship to your birth chart when you were born. Nobody has exactly your birth chart. That's what makes you an individual with your date, time, and place of birth. Hi, JJ. Welcome. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what they do, you know. You only have ugly honeypots. They don't send me honey. There's no one around that is a honeypot. No honeypot, no honey trap. Now in New Jersey, who knows? Maybe there were. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. I'm under the Big Dipper. That's right. I noticed that it's like, wow, like that is so cool. And now, well, I shouldn't say because all I have to do, like if I ever got lost, all I have to do is follow that astronomical position in the sky to find my location. Let's see. Us goofy humans are animals too. We all belong here just like the other animals. I wonder if my ex-husband was one. What I think about, it's like it's very possible that my ex-husband was one because he just started turning up everywhere that I was. Like even when I moved, I would get out of the subway in New York City, start walking down the block, and my ex-husband would be walking in towards me, and we would pass each other almost every day. And then I ran into him at a bar. And then I ran into him at another bar. And then I ran into him at the Italian festival. I mean, how could you miss him? He was 6'5" and his head just stood up um higher than a lot of other people. And I was walking, I mean, in the Italian festival in New York City, what is the likelihood of your finding like this one person? Let's see, do you have room for one bird? Um we have to talk about it. We won't do that here, okay? You had an eBay business and self-sabotage and spiral. That's exactly what they do. They go after your business. I wonder, because what I found out, this is the weirdest thing about my divorce too. This was at a time when you could sit in a court and listen to everybody else's stuff. Hi, Jerry. Welcome. Um, I found out that, see, my ex husband was married before he married me. And I was able to find out that his ex wife divorced him for the exact same reasons that I divorced him. It was like exactly the same. Oh, well, I don't really care. Well, the weird thing about it was when I finally got a divorce, and this is fact. I'm sitting with my lawyer who finally divorced me. I'm sitting there in the court. The judge who I loved this judge. People hated him, but I loved him. He was this, uh, I don't know, this hilarious Italian Judge Locasio. I love this guy. He finally divorced me. And I turned to my lawyer and I'm like smiling. I look at my watch. It's like, what time is it? And then my lawyer comes to me afterwards and he says, "You know, your ex-husband is crying in the hallway." It's like, oh my God, he's just crying because he was going to have to pay all that child support. Let's see, your ex-husband was used to gain access to you. I think he was sent to me 27 years. 27 years is a Saturn cycle. That is a Saturn cycle. Yeah, my ex-husband was definitely. He was definitely. Yeah. In hindsight, he even told my mother while we're going through divorce. My mother says, I think you're jealous of Lorraine. And he told my mother that he was jealous of me. How can you stay married to a guy that's jealous of you? I have not always had good lawyers, but the lawyers that were good were incredibly good, like really top notch. Judge Ocasio? Did he really? Yes, the lunar eclipse is coming up. I love that lawyer, that judge. That is the one judge. I told him that my ex-husband was living a better life with his new girlfriend than he was when he was living with me. And the judge says, "You know what? I agree." Let's see. They told my customers I was a. Oh no, 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 no. Eh, Oh my god. The things that they come up with. They told your customers you were a cross-dressing drug addict. It didn't affect many. Some told him things like, "I don't care if he comes here stoned in a dress, as long as he fixes my equipment." That's so funny. Yes, Saturn is a 27, 28 year cycle. That's why, have you ever heard of the 27 Club? All these musicians and actors, actresses that died suddenly at age 27. See, I'm reading The Cabal, Mind Control, and Slavery by Laura Worley. She has 4 books. Many of the tactics are the same as SRA Mind Control. That sounds like an interesting book. Yes, yes, exactly. Why they died at 27. Those are sacrifices. Who be jealous over an achiever, headstrong, self-accomplished, and independent person like you? Well, ironically, my ex-husband and I were in the same field at one time. We were both human resources. I was a corporate HR manager, and he was a vice president of human resources. So he actually had a higher position than me and earning more money than me. Like he was earning 6 figures. And when I left my job, I was interviewing for other positions that were 6 figures. But then I decided, you know what? I just want to stay home with my daughter. So I did. I said, I can't get a lawyer. They will indicate that I have a case against the police and my target involves organized crime. Wonder if it's all. I don't know. I I don't know. Mia Zapata. I don't know who that is, John. But there are so many people that were 27 Club. Like, let me take this gum out of my mouth because it's starting to make me a little sick. 1 second. Let me find a piece of paper. I can only chew this nicotine gum for so long. It makes me sick. 1 second. Okay. Um, Janis Joplin. Community escape started young. He was high level for Mason. Let me see. Mark Twain said men die at 27 but are not buried until 72. Well, that's interesting. We have the police looking at this. Anyone ever hear? Oh, yes, James Tilly Matthews. Yes. I've heard. He claimed to be getting inserted thoughts from a device called the heirloom. Yes. It was the 1700s. Ultimately, he was first diagnosed. Yes. He was the first person diagnosed schizophrenic. And I don't know if you know my views upon schizophrenia. It's a contrived, quote unquote, mental illness. Most of the time, and it is going okay. That was in the 1700s, but mostly in the 1800s and the early 1900s. I'm not supposed to chew that gum. What am I supposed to do with it? It's gum. Somebody told me I'm supposed to chew it and then stop and stick it in my cheek and then chew it again and stick it in my cheek. Um, I don't smoke cigarettes, so the taste is disgusting to me. But you've got a good lawyer? Good. A good lawyer is hard to find. There's so many corrupt, they're part of the criminal fraternity. And I read that book, The Criminal Fraternity, over multiple live streams and videos. Yes, that's a good point. The James Tilly Matthews from the 1700s, but mostly women were diagnosed schizophrenic during therapy, and most of the therapists back in the day were men. So they would finally get the courage to talk about what was bothering them. And what was troubling them is the graping of family members, usually a father, a brother, an uncle. And that's what was causing such trauma. And when they would reveal it to the shrinks back then, the shrinks, of course, there was no medical insurance, so they would go to the person who was paying them, which is usually the perpetrator, the father, the uncle, the whatever, and they would make a little deal on the side, and they would then place all of those women in a mental institution and call them schizophrenic, medicate them into submission for telling the truth. They were traumatized. Yes, I need the eBay stalker lawyer. I actually looked them up. They're located in Massachusetts. I have not contacted them yet. But there's a whole list of people that we need to contact. 60 Minutes, those attorneys, and I want to get in touch with the couple. Let's see. The vast majority of mental illness is people responding to being in cage systems, just as we're seeing animals respond in the same way in zoos. Exactly. Exactly. Well, unfortunately, in our society, speaking the truth means that you have some kind of a mental illness. And again, I really don't believe that there's something called a mental illness. They have not yet been able to locate it. And most of the time, it's based upon somebody's perception. And everybody's perceptions vary based upon what the agenda is. And also, most of the time, they need to make money. They don't make any money. Psychiatrists, psychologists, they don't make money by sitting down for 50 minutes and having a conversation with somebody so that they can talk out their problems. You go into most therapeutic situations, and within 15, 20 minutes, you're handed a piece of paper with prescriptions, all of which have very negative side effects long term. Let's see, Dr. Juliet Engel, MK Ultra Doctor, was a recent episode of We the People Utah, and she said one of the most dangerous places to be is a hospital. I agree. Dr. Phil says gang stalking. Yeah, well, Dr. Phil is part of the problem. Let's see, I noticed the attempt to make you think you're crazy at a young age. I never experienced that, by the way. Yes, infraguard is a mental illness. That's interesting. Scapegoating. Love is the greatest healer that exists. Listen to what people are saying. Absolutely, I agree. She said they will drug you and take patients into the basement and do things to them, stay out of them if at all possible. Hi, Tater, welcome. Your father is a warlock. Your mother was under a spell and she cursed me. He's still living and he's tried to delete me many times. I believe you, and that's unfortunately what they do. Yes, I don't like Dr. Phil. That's just my personal opinion. I never liked him and I don't trust him. I think he's a TV personality. And there are many of those personalities on YouTube. Yes, scapegoating ritual. They got to be doing specific kids, people each in town. Oh, okay. Oh, you want to know what the latest thing they stole from me, aside from the pet's nail clippers and the eye ointment? They stole a box of bamboo forks. I kid you not. They were on my kitchen counter. Forks. They stole the forks. What are they doing with these bamboo forks? This your sister was drugged in the hospital in Seattle. She called me for help, and they drugged her and tried to say she was psychotic. Well, she will be psychotic if they force these medications, and that's basically what they do. That's the agenda. Yes, I agree about Dr. Phil. That's just my opinion. They make up the illness in meetings with each other to sell more time on the clock. Mental health is mostly comes from. Yes, I agree. Masons refer to non-members as covens. Oh, Cohens. Cohens or covens? Same thing that witches say of non-witches. Yes, yes. Let's see. Your high school crush popped back up in college and put some crazy stuff in my water. Oh, well, that's not cool. Oh my goodness, that's horrible. Your sister had brain surgery and did this. Your mother got her out of there. Well, I encourage you, if you have time, and regardless of what you think of her, Paris Hilton, she was a typical teenager, very little rich girl and stuff, but her parents stuck her in this facility in Utah. I believe they just shut the damn place down. Somebody was doing the investigation into it. Um, they were not allowing her to talk to her parents. They were putting her in isolation. They were starving her. They were harming her. They were literally torturing her. And she has a video out there about what happened there. And she actually testified. I don't know if it was before Congress or something, about that institution in Utah that they stuck her in, and how traumatic it was for her. So if they could do that to her, given the wealth of her family, imagine what they're doing to just regular people. Your mother was in hypnosis research and they involved the psychiatric department at the local medical school. I believe that. Yeah, I watched her video and I watched her speaking, and I felt so bad for her. Regardless of how you felt about her, being a party girl and all that stuff, what they did to her was just horrendous. They literally tortured this girl while bilking her parents hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah, there are hidden double meanings of words in the English language. I feel very bad for Paris. And literally, I encourage you to listen to her documentary. She's got a documentary out there. I think I listened to it maybe about a year and a half ago. Yes, Utah hides some horrendous secrets. And you know what else is in Utah? If I remember correctly, isn't it like that huge, huge fusion center in the sky in Utah where they collect all the, data from all the fusion centers around the country? Yes, spell. Yes. AI lightning bolt to your dome. Oh, Jenny, Paris Hilton, when she was younger, she was a party girl. So her parents decided, you know what? She needs to go to a facility to learn how to behave and, detox and all that stuff. So they sent her to this facility in Utah and they literally tortured her there. They starved her, they beat her, they prevented her from talking on the phone. When she would speak to her parents, they always had somebody listening to her. Conversations would hang up the phone. They put her in isolation. Horrible, horrible things they did to that woman. It is terrible, terrible. But the fact that she comes from an affluent family, and she's very poised. When you hear her speak to Congress or whomever it was that she was speaking to, it's incredibly believable and heart wrenching. And she was interrupted so many times. Exactly, JJ. They wanted Paris brainwashed. Exactly. And her parents had no idea what was going on there because they actually refrained from allowing her to call home. Would intercept her phone calls. It was almost, it reminds me of what I've heard about Scientology. It almost sounds like the same kind of protocols that were happening there to her. Horrible. Yes, it was like a prison. It was like a, yes, exactly. It was like a prison for her. Yes, human trafficking has gone mainstream and gang stalking with the police awareness. Well, you know, in my spare time, I listen to a lot of the police auditors, and what I'm seeing is just disgusting. What they do to young people, what they do to just people like crossing the street. I think part of the problem with many of the police, and this needs to be researched more and be looked into, is the use of steroids and just the way pharmaceuticals can hijack the brain. These steroids have a very extreme negative side effect, and I have mentioned before. I used to work at a gym a lot, and there was this guy, and he was a lawyer at the gym, and he was a bodybuilder, and he was in competitions, and he was very good, but he was taking steroids, and people would tell him, "You've got to stop. You've got to stop." Well, I remember going into the gym one day, and everybody was talking about it. He died. This lawyer, yes, this lawyer, and he was not old. He was like in his 40s. He was like the bodybuilder. He was in great shape. He had a great life otherwise, but he was taking the steroids and it killed him. It gave him a heart attack. So anybody that's listening out there, police, you have to understand, if you're taking this at you're 20 years old, you're 30 years old, beware, because by the time you get into your 50s, It can have a very severe negative long-term side effect. Please try to get yourself off those things. Very, very bad. Very bad. Back in New Jersey, for 6 years, I did volunteer work at the local Alcohol and Drug Alliance, and I was actually the chairperson for a year. And we spoke about this, and this is very serious. And not only that, but these energy drinks are really bad for you. Very bad. Let's see. Even being too inactive in your 50s is dangerous. Yes, yes. And then, because remember, like a lot of officers, they've got like the night shift. So they're tired. And so they'll take drink these energy drinks. That's almost just as bad because, yes, I'm not even going to say that word van life because I don't know if that's a acceptable YouTube vocabulary. Um, but what ends up happening with the energy drinks is they're overloaded with sugar and caffeine. So the caffeine in combination with the sugar is just off the charts. Like, I don't remember now. I would have to go back into my notes about it, but it was so dangerous that teenagers were dying from these energy drinks. Yeah, very, very bad stuff. Very bad stuff. Like right now, like I'm just drinking pineapple juice. Organic pineapple juice. Your dad was a programmer for Oh. Do you think that's why you're targeted, Skylar? Yes, and these young people, they just don't realize that over the long term, it's sort of like, when people start doing drugs, that you never know at what point where it will be the point of no return. Let's see, make sure you click the live chat or you oh yes, 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 I did that. Thank you for the reminder. Yes, at the top of the live stream, to the left, there's a little down arrow. If you click that arrow, you have some options. Click on live chat so that you can see all of the comments. Let's see, they failed a bunch of drugs. Yeah, yep. Your dad was a DOD, top clearance, quality control, oversee. Oh my goodness. Yeah, your father was did he eventually become targeted gruntology? You do have an interesting family. Yeah, I know, Fred. I know. Let's see. I don't know if I could be a variety of things. It could be a variety of things. You just don't know. Let's see. I wanted to log in for a little bit. Hi, Owen. May God protect you and keep you throughout this week. Thank you, Owen. The same to you. Oh, the food. Oh, the food is horrible. The food supply is just horrible. But they're poisoning my organic food. So it doesn't matter what you buy anymore. And now from what I understand is, you know, think about this for a minute. Okay, so let's say I'm growing an organic garden. But when I look up in the sky, there's a lot of stuff being sprayed and then it rains. Yes, exactly. Pineapple fights off parasites. Yes, yes, yes. I love pineapple juice. I can't get enough of this stuff. I could drink this stuff all day long, except for coffee and hot cocoa. Let's see. your mom had a picture of her on a White House helicopter for the first George Bush administration, but she was a resume writer. Oh, interesting. Interesting. You know what my brother told me? It wasn't during his testimony interview because we were talking about something that happened in my family where my cousin, who is an attorney for Wachtell Lipton, he just suddenly died in his sleep at the age of 36 years old. And we were talking about that the possibility of that it wasn't naturally occurring. But my brother said that, and beware, that there are certain chemicals, I'll use the word chemicals, when added to tea, can be very toxic and cause somebody to die. Yeah, I love pineapple juice. I've always loved pineapple juice. And this pineapple juice actually has little pieces of pineapple in it. Um, so if any of you guys drink tea, let's see, I go to the super pricey health store, they poisoned me twice. I know. Well, I mean, these criminals, they stole all of my forks. They stole my cat's nail clippers. Hope your brother comes back on later and gives us an update on his life. I will tell him that because I'm sure he has more to share. And now I really want to get my other brother. I really want to get my other brother. And I keep mentioning to him, and he's got very strange hours and stuff. But my other brother, my younger brother, well, they're both younger, but this one is younger than my brother that was interviewed. He's got some interesting stories to tell too. Let's see. Um, Kathy O'Brien and her child. Yes, yes. Yeah, Kathy O'Brien's story is bona fide, accurate. You know, Kathy O'Brien also had an eBay store. That's how I found out about Kathy because I purchased one of her books. Like this is back in New Jersey. I purchased one of her books, and then I get a handwritten note along with the book, and it's like it's from her. I thought that I was buying the book from just like an eBay bookseller. Um, but she had an eBay store and she was selling her book. Let's see, I have 2 hours of driving, usually food prep. I can't afford takeout at the moment. Any ideas, or do they? Um, you know what I've been doing lately, which is absolutely ridiculous. I have been duct taping, duct taping my food closed. You know, I like to cook for myself. So, because my chickens lay eggs, so I cook like a lot of omelets, all different kinds of omelets. But when I cook it, it's usually enough for 2 days. So I'll package it up. I mean, it's ridiculous, like in a Tupperware. And then I wrap it in rubber bands. And then I wrap it in plastic and I duct tape it. I have to duct tape it. Yeah, water with lemon. Yes, that's really good. That's really good. I found last year, they did something where I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't eat for like almost 3 days, and I felt like amazing. I felt like so good for like fasting for 3 days, and then they did something. They poisoned my food or something, and then I got sick all over again. Oh, you should see the stuff that comes off of my body um, under a microscope. It's very similar to like if any of you guys have been to the Gecko Pico, I'll write the name so that you can see who it is. Gecko. Oops. You go to his YouTube channel, he he talks about some. Oh, you know who he is? Yeah, his Substack, right? But he's got a YouTube channel with lots of photos, and a lot of his photos look just like mine. So how is it possible? Like, he lives in another country. Yes, yes, he's got a great Substack. He has a YouTube, yes, and he's got great photos. Yeah, I don't eat fast food. Well, there's nothing to eat around here. There's just nothing to eat around here. Like, that's the one thing about New Jersey. Oh my God, I so miss the food stores there, the ethnic food stores. Like, there was this Polish food store that I loved, and then there's a Russian food, Japanese, Chinese. I'm gonna get hungry. But any kind of ethnic food you wanted, just like literally within 10-minute drive. Yeah, I don't eat fast food. I don't eat McDonald's. I don't eat Burger King. I don't eat that stuff. I mean, there were times in New Jersey, like, I would just get a craving, for those disgusting French fries. And I'd stop in, I'd get like French fries, and I would inevitably be sick afterwards. Like, they're just grease. I don't know. I don't even think they're potatoes. Like, are they potatoes? I don't know. Oh my God. You found a human tooth in a McDonald's burger? Yeah, like, I like the French fries, but I learned my lesson. Do not eat the French fries because I'll be sick. It's sort of like it tastes good going down, but it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. You can make your own French fries. I know the Japan. I love Japanese food. I really do. Let's see. Matson said, "Oh, I hate to tell you, probably still won't see anyone until you realize someone has been inside." Um, I never see a person, but I know people are in my house. I'll give you for example. Last night, I went to sleep. I covered up my body, all kinds of foil and stuff all over my body. I was wearing an EMF cap, EMF eye blinder to cover my eyes. I was totally covered. And when I fall asleep, I literally don't move. It's just the way I am. I just don't move. Unlike other people in my family where they like will end up on the other side of the bed, I lay in one place and that's it. I wake up like that. Well, I woke up this morning. There was no hat on. There was no eye mask on. Nothing that I went to sleep with was on my body. I don't know how that happened. I think somebody was in my house. I think I had a Frogger. Hi, mother of three. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is this the first time? I'm glad you caught the live too. We go until midnight. That's what they do to me, John. It's sort of like until my brother mentioned it, this is what he said. He said they will knock him out, then jolt him awake. Knock him out, jolt him awake. This cannot be healthy. It interferes with your circadian rhythms, which mine are totally off. I mean, even in New Jersey, I had decent sleep, and it's not like I'm not like this major sleeper anyway. Like, I've never been that 8 or 9 hour sleeper. I must have been a pain in the neck to my mother because I just don't, I never, if I can get 6 hours, that is amazing. Put a barrel bolt on my bedroom door. I don't have a door. I took the door off my bedroom so that it would make it easier for me to get in and out because my house is so small that the door they gave me was so cumbersome that I had it removed, like literally when I moved here. Yeah. Let's see. The police told you to put cameras inside and outside your home. I knew they said that this so they could watch me more. I used to have I used to have a camera that pointed like in my house to where I'm sitting now because I wanted to see when they were knocking me out and how I would be sitting. But then I realized that that same camera that is pointing towards me, that they're watching. So I removed it. So all of my cameras are pointing out now. Yeah, it's horrible. Hi, Valentina. Is that your real name, Valentina? Booby trap should be legal. Yeah, they watch through your phone camera. Yes, yes, yes. I was being spied on, so I just started live streaming and they didn't know what to do. That's what they do to me also, John. You know, and the weird thing is, and this is what troubles me so much is that I'm a certified clinical hypnotist. So when I was practicing, which I haven't done unfortunately in the 7 years I've been here, um I was a really difficult person to hypnotize. There were people that would try to hypnotize me like while we're practicing and stuff, and there were a lot of people that couldn't. They couldn't hypnotize me. But here, I think what they're doing is they're using the directed energy along with the hypnosis. So what they do is they have already mapped our brains and I can feel it. I can feel them hitting me in certain areas of my head. And I can almost feel like when I'm at the laptop, like I'm getting drowsy and it's happened I think it happened last week. No, not last week. I think it was the week before. And Joe sent me a text message, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And it's like they knocked me out for like I think 7 or 8 minutes, like while I'm in the live stream. It's either hypnosis or 8 hertz. They're using some frequencies. I mean, they may be using hypnosis while like after you're knocked out, which is a possibility, but there's something else going on. There's some frequency. Let's see. These are poison that makes you have projectile vomiting tremors that last up to an hour. Then I recover, but the next few days I have high BP, no appetite. Let's see. Make sure your bedroom is locked with a sensor alarm set up. You're not going to believe this, but I actually have motion lights inside my house now. It's so weird, especially like when Zoomy is in the house. When Zoomy is sleeping in the house, he likes to sleep like right where the motion lights is, and he keeps turning it on all night long. Is there a drug that can hypnotize people? To my knowledge, I have never been hypnotized. My mother was very suggestive. Well, they want to make you fearful about eating certain foods. They don't want you to eat the good foods, and I'll give you an example. So, I received my delivery from Misfits Market yesterday. I ordered organic nectarines, and they were hard. They're not ripe yet, so I had them on my counter to ripen. And today I went to the nectarines to touch them to see how much they have ripened. Well, they didn't ripen, but the criminals molded them. So there's this white fungus on 3 of them that they created. A white fungus. Yes, yeah, you're right, Valentina. If that's your first name is similar to my last name. That's why I asked you. Well, they do add stuff to my food. I mean, I have they is that your real name? Yeah, my last name is Valente, so I like your name. It's so pretty, Valentina. The last name Valente means valiant. Probably your first name too, Valentina. Yeah, it's very pretty. Let's see. I couldn't be hypnotized in high school at all. I didn't learn hypnosis until I was in I'm going to say my mid to late 40s. I started learning hypnosis and regression therapy. Yeah, yes, there are people that are easily mind controlled and who can't be hypnotized. Well, it depends on the person. Like, it was really weird because my hypnosis teacher, there was something about him where during class, like, he could not hypnotize me, but there were other students in the class that could. Everybody has different style when they're not only their voice, their temperament, the words they use. So you might be hypnotized with one person and not by another. Yes. Oh, sodium pentothal. Oh yeah, that is. It's so weird because back in the day, dentists would use sodium pentothal, like if you were having a surgical procedure in your mouth. Um, I had impacted wisdom teeth, and they were removed, and they gave me sodium pentothal, and I could hear everything that they were doing at the time. And I don't know if anybody asked me any questions, but I remember them giving that to me and just feeling like this is really not knocking me out. Like, I hear and I feel, but not pain. Like, I didn't feel any pain, but I heard everything that the doctor was saying, everything that the assistant was saying. It was so weird. They do use sprays. In New Jersey, they were spraying like some kind of an aerosol on my porch. Um, and it smelled like a sweet perfume, and I don't wear perfume. So I'd walk out on my porch and I would smell this sweet perfume, and it was in the direction of my neighbor's house. One neighbor's house, but not the others. and I realized that it was an aerosol being sprayed there, and I intuitively felt like it was a neurotoxin. Nerve gas? I don't know what it was, but then I started to smell it here too. Not in front of my house, but they would spray it in the air between my house and my walking to the Cats building. And see here where I live, like I live in the valley, so there's a dip. So last night it was really bad. The humidity was 100%, and you could see the particles in the air. Um, let's see, they tried to diagnose you as yeah, I don't really know how they do it. But I do know that I've got some criminals on the property, probably right now as we speak. Yeah, I was seriously thinking about buying a mask. Because they're also spraying in some gray powder into one of the into the chicken coop, and it covers everything. Like I can clean the chicken coop, like all the shelves, everything that's on a shelf, and then the next morning it's covered again with this gray, disgusting dust. Yeah, they're the legs are a favorite of these criminals. I actually took photos this morning, of the marks on my legs. It's a biological agent, so you can't prove it's poison. Interesting. Yeah, you're closing the vent on your attic. Yeah, I would be careful with the attics and the vents. They were spraying things in the ventilation of my house in New Jersey, and I noticed that my air filters in New Jersey, normally I would change them every 3 months. It's only me. Nobody smokes cigarettes. Like, I don't use perfumes and stuff like that, but I noticed that my air filters in New Jersey were really disgusting. So I was starting to change them every month, and they were still so bad. So they were spraying something. Let's see, they made me retain water until 33 pounds. Yes, the dryer sheets. Yes, it's very sweet. It's very, very sweet. Hi, Tater. Let's see. Hi, Ivory Elephant. When your targeting first began, I remember my apartment smelling so strong, like cement glue or some sort. Always had headaches. A white scar. Hi, Sue. Yeah, I don't. You know what? I wish I knew what it was. They create shorts in your wiring in your house. Oh, absolutely. Let me just tell you that this cabin, I purchased it brand new. It was built by Amish. And I have two or three locations in my house that they have short circuited. This is not normal. Absolutely. I was sitting on my couch when I first moved here. I'm going to say probably probably within the first 9 months of living in this house. I'm sitting on the sofa. I had an iPad then. I get hit with some kind of energy in my leg. I dropped the laptop, the iPad. The iPad went black. I couldn't restart it. It stopped working completely. Whatever it is they did to my leg, because I was holding the iPad, it was so bad that the iPad shorted. I was never able to start it again. I even had it looked at with it by tech support person. They couldn't get it to start either. They piggyback on your wiring. And this is why sometimes your electric bills are so high, because they're utilizing your electricity to target you and me. You're kidding, Pam. Creepy's not on tonight? Maybe Creepy short circuited. See, there are a lot of things that were going on in New Jersey that don't happen here because of the way this house is built compared to, a regular house. Like in New Jersey, I had an attic. I actually had two attics and the central HVAC system. I don't have an HVAC system here. I just have, a mini split and a wall unit. Yeah, I know. Now that you said it, he'll show up. We don't need creepy. I mean, he's just I don't know who invented creepy. That's one of the perps. I think that's what it is. I can definitely see nano dust in my house. You can see it under a black light. It's really disturbing because even if I wash everything, put it in the clothes dryer, it still comes out with that stuff on it. It's almost like the nano dust is like Velcro. It just does not come off. Yes, they do. And then what happens is they cause your items to short circuit. Like I can't tell you how many things I've lost here. Like in my house, I lost two dehumidifiers. They were brand new. I bought them here. Your black dust comes out of your clothes. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's so disturbing. Um, in New Jersey, I would be up until 2, 3, even 4 o'clock in the morning cleaning because I would take out the black light. I get in those moods. Okay, I want to take out the black light, see what's going on, and it drove me nuts. I would walk around with my Clorox wipes and my magic eraser and start cleaning the walls. I know the black light. It's hi Adam. Yeah, it's you have to have a black light, but if you turn on your black light, it will make your life miserable. Worse than it already is. I'll tell you, it's so disturbing. Let's see. I have a theory. People are also happier camping because the air has different composition that allows one to breathe differently and relax from the perils of the city. Let's see. They piggyback EMF generators and dirty electric on our dime. Your new vacuum cleaner plug gets fire hot after. Oh, same here. I have that same thing happen. Same thing. Land Shark says, "There are less assholes in the forest." Well, I don't know. I beg to differ. I beg to differ on that one here. We've got people that pretend that they're owls here, people that pretend that they're coyotes, mixing it with recordings. And we have raccoons here. Let's see. Yes, the weird in New Jersey, there was like a lot of this yellow drippy stuff. I saw it mostly in the bathroom. I didn't really see it in the kitchen. It was mostly in the bathroom. So I think that, when you're in the shower and it interacts with the moisture, it has an interaction. And then there's also this white powdery stuff that's on the windows. And even when you wipe it clean, like with a Windex or vinegar, it's like it leaves a white film. Yeah, critters are more civilized than humans. Yeah, I had somebody leave a comment on one of my Foxy videos that said, "You do know that that is a wild animal." You do know that's a wild animal and that they eat cats and birds. And I told the person that Foxy has been here for years, but I didn't know that it was a fox that was eating all my chickens until I caught Foxy in the act. And then I realized, well, like I like foxes because Michaela Raines. I was watching her interaction with the foxes, and it's like, well, I like the fox, so I'm going to start feeding the fox. Since I started feeding the fox is not going after my birds. I mean, you could see that, like the fox just sits there with the birds circling around the fox, and the fox is actually scared of the birds at this point. Oh, okay, I got you. The wilds, not places where humans live. Yeah. Yeah, that white it's like the white fuzzy mold. Like, this is new food. I wanna know how they're doing it. Like, I wanna know what device they're using to be able to cause a piece of organic fruit to turn into a fuzzy science project overnight. That's an interesting question. The question is, I wonder if the people who lived in Paradise, California, felt hot outlets before PGE burns them up. Oh, really? Oh, they do something to bread and buns in the freezer as well. Well, the technology is off the charts, and I was so glad to hear somebody left a comment. I think it was a video this week where I said that they can intentionally rust something, and somebody else said, "Yeah, they rust things there too." Yeah, Foxy eating granola bars and eggs, fresh chicken. Yeah, Foxy eats better than some people. Yes, that granola bar was not cheap, by the way. It was cinnamon raisin granola bar. Well, the chickens lay a lot of eggs. More eggs than I can eat myself. Oh, you get the white fuzzies too? It's so disgusting. It's like I can't even give that to the chickens to eat, like, I give them a lot of scraps. I mean, I've taken to like, I peel and I wasn't like this in New Jersey, like, I would clean the fruit and then eat the skin too, but I do not eat the skin of fruit here. I peel the skin off of all the apples and the pears and whatever it is, whatever fruit I have, I peel the skin off of it. Yeah, I mean, Nick, I think that is the agenda, right? I mean, they're psychopaths. Yeah, Foxy is really cute. But the weird thing is, in all the years that I'm here, I have seen two foxes, but I've never seen a baby fox. Let's see, Joe says, random question. Anyone else enjoy watching the lightning and hearing the thunder? Well, it's interesting that you say that because I posted a video of lightning and thunder that happened this week, but it was for members only. Um, I do like it, but it gets pretty violent here, and a lot of the lightning that I've noticed is highly charged. Like it just seems more highly charged than like when I was a kid watching thunder and lightning. Let's see, as an SRA survivor, they said they could break her arm, then she would stick it in a machine and it would heal. Their technology is far beyond whatever anybody knows. Poison store in fat cells. Stay fit and active. It helps a lot. Sweating helps also. So while I do not like cutting the grass so much the way I've been doing because my lawnmower is not working, I have sweat so much this week. So whatever toxins they put in me, I just sweat it right out this week. Let's see. Lorraine said they wanted to disable. Yes. Yeah, I mean the photos that I took this morning, they are literally on both of the inside portion of my knees and on my ankles. They're trying to disable me or causing some ridiculous thing because I've got the marks on my inner knees and my ankles. Your mangoes are yummy. Oh, Sue, do you live in St. Louis? Are you in Missouri? Yeah, we've got a couple of other targeted people that live there. Yeah, they're trying to make it appear as if it's naturally occurring. First of all, there is longevity in my family, and I think I've mentioned before that there isn't not anybody in my family that died of any disease, illness, dementia, none of that stuff. My aunt died in her 90s, my grandma in her 90s. My mother, they killed her at 83 years old, but she should have probably lived to her 90s because she was perfectly healthy and still working. So what they're doing to me is not natural, and it's not naturally occurring. It's not normal. There is no plausible deniability. But they want to create that, and this is why they want to isolate the victim because they don't want anybody around to validate what's happening to you. Let's see. Missouri was really bad when you visited there. Probably the worst state I have visited for stalking. Well, that's so interesting because everybody I've spoken to says that Kentucky was the worst place that they visited. Question is, anyone else see lightning balls? Um, I don't I don't think so. But the lightning here is crazy. Or you know what it is? I think it's because of that I have so much sky here. There's nothing blocking my view except for the trees, the mountains. There's nothing blocking my view to the sky. Like in New Jersey, there were so many houses and stuff, so you didn't always have access to see things that were going on in the sky. There were too many lights going on with all the houses. Everybody had, their outside lights on, but here, when there's a lightning storm, you can see it. Let's see, your boyfriend walked into a hospital for outpatient treatment. He was feeling so good until he went into that hospital a year and many facilities later. He passed hours before. Oh, oh, that is so sad, Amy. Yes, they hate for you to talk to anybody and have fun. Hi, Targeted Patton. Welcome. I don't really know what a lightning ball looks like. Yes, it is worse if they know you have psychic abilities. That's true. That's why they had to get rid of my mother. Because my mother was actually going to visit me here. And I know that if my mother visited me here, she would have had me out of here in a heartbeat. She would not have liked it here. She would have picked up on the vibe and everything, and she would have helped me get out of here. Yes, isolate is the key for them to control you. My guess is that most TIs have some level of psychic ability. You know what? Somebody else said that in a comment today, in fact, under one of the videos. Yes, and I know Eden has abilities. Um, your telekinesis, yes. Well, before I moved here, I had precognitive dreams, like literally my entire life, and I could remote view. I don't think they like that shit. You were in the GATE program in grade school. A lot of people were in the GATE program. All I remember in school is they were always giving us these weird tests. They were testing us for everything. Great balls of fire. Isn't Jerry Lee from Kentucky? I don't know. I really don't know. So Amy's giving some advice. Amy says, if you're on any prescription, be careful. My boyfriend's prescriptions was stolen after every poisoning and subsequent ER visit. Why? Were they being tampered with? Actually, that's what I think would happen with Michaela Raines, the founder of Save a Fox. I do not believe that she took her own life. Let's see. They try to gatekeep supernatural abilities for themselves. Well, that's true. That MK Ultra doctor said she was taken as a child under the San Francisco Bridge to train the children on psychic abilities. MK Ultra is all about trying to get these kids developed in their psychic lab. They call it, yes, gifted. Yes. Yes. Yep. I think I have ESP, very intuitive. My mother shared the same birthday. She's no longer with us. I'm sorry you lost your mom, but we had a crazy, crazy connection. Yeah. Yeah, my daughter and I have these weird connections too. Like when she was living in the house, she would come downstairs and say, "Mom, did you get my message?" And I looked at her like, "What message?" She says, I was thinking that I wanted to order a pizza." I said, "Well, that's so weird because I was thinking about ordering a pizza." She said, "Oh, see, I was sending you a message that I wanted a pizza." Oh yeah, about that pink stuff, that pink drink. Well, good for you, John. John says, "I would never use my gifts for an evil government or any government of the world. They're trying to train the AI to do ESP type abilities." Well, you know, did I ever I think I've told you guys that, I was having a conversation with ChatGPT last year, and I was talking about, like, the real estate, what was going on here, and Chat says, that I was a person of interest, and then put a little smiley face next to it. Let's see, targeted patent says, "Boy, that" oh, yeah, I know. I don't even know who that is. No, I mean, I know who that is. But she's been stalking me since 2024. I'll tell you what I think she is. I think she's an agent. I think she's the replacement of the Gorilla Boy. For anybody that doesn't know who the Gorilla Boy is, please thank God he's on some other project or whatever. But yeah, so they switched him out and put her on my case. Let's see, a good movie on YouTube that shows certain psychic abilities is the movie Freaks. I've never heard of that. Oh, she tried telling people not to trust you too. Oh, you should see this stuff. I'm so glad some of you guys send me the comments in other people's channels. Um, because there are people out there that I have never spoken to. I do not know from a hole in the wall. They have nothing on their channel and they're talking negatively about me. So usually, yes, yes. Yeah, that person. Oh, good. There are so many films I want to see. Okay, so it's 11:46 PM. So we just got rid of the perpetrator, Mud Baby dash Civ S6N. Mud Baby, typical. 11:46 PM, come in the perpetrators. Yeah, Mud Baby is a perp. Yeah, what Mud Baby says, I can view the deleted message. We have your number. We have you. Am I supposed to be afraid of you, Mud Baby? Show your face, loser. Hi, SCL. Welcome, welcome. He said he's got my number. Like we already know. They exactly. Yeah. Was that a threat? Oh, I've got your number. Oh, you have lightning there? Yes, yes. Mud Baby sounds like a weak troll compared to the hell I've been through. Imagine calling yourself Mud Baby. Wow, that's impressive. Wow, you know, when I grow up, I want to be a mud baby too. Let's see. You were on vacation and wasn't even thinking of anything, just walked out and bam, I was froze. Yeah, but what ends up happening is repressed memories. They want you to forget certain things, But under the right or wrong circumstances, the repressed memories will surface again. So you will remember what they want you to forget. I think he's flirting with you in an extremely awkward way. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, very funny. Oh, goodness. A lot of people are having memories of those gate programs. Yeah, 30 years later. Are you supposed to have lightning in Oregon? Are you in Oregon? Oh, well, I highly recommend, there's a YouTube channel. It was called a Predictive History, and Predictive History is still there, but he stopped teaching the course. So, but it's still there. You can watch the old videos. It's Dr. Jiang, Jiang, and he put out a video a couple of days ago. The 21 states that he predicts um, will have the most problems in the next couple of years. Of the 21 states, of course, Kentucky was there, and he explained why. Um, West Virginia, Kentucky, California, New Jersey, Texas, Oregon, um, Michigan. You want to move out of Oregon to a safe place. Um, you really do need to watch this. First of all, this guy has been interviewed everywhere. He he's highly accurate in his political predictions, his financial predictions, and I have my gut feeling has been since 2023 to get the fuck out of Kentucky. And these people, these criminals, are keeping me here. But we'll be moving anyway. Let's see, Laura Worley in her books talks about how they were trained in trying to open up spiritual abilities, said that they could do amazing things that most would say is not possible. Oregon is a full police state. They're messing with the ionosphere. Yes, yes, yes. It's been raining in New York City so much and cooler. Let me see. Let me just see for a minute if I could find that video. So just I won't be talking for a couple of seconds. 1 second. Um, 1 second. Let me go find it. Post the link. Um, is that? Like he started a whole bunch of channels now. Let's see. It was the 21 state. Let me see if I can find it. 1 second. 1 second. Um, I'm just going to post this channel for you guys. He's got some really good videos there. Let's see. Well, the earthquakes, first of all, we have another eclipse coming up, and eclipses always portend earth rattlings. So don't be surprised if, within the next couple of weeks or on the day of the eclipse, you're going to find, oh, you have it, right? The Predictive History channel, but looking on. Okay, he's got a couple of channels now. 1 second. He created a few more. So the one that I just posted is not his history class. This is a channel that he created recently, and he's got some really good videos here. But there was one that I listened to. I need to find it again. It was 21 states. I should have cut and pasted it to myself. 1 second. One second. I see he's creating a lot of channels now. Okay, so he just created this new channel this month. Where is it? This is it, I think. 1 second. Where is it? 21 states. Here it is. Finally. Okay, here it is. 21 states. These 21 states will collapse first as the USA enters recession in 2026. These 21 states here. Let's see, if you want to get back into, just start studying shamanism, astral projection is ancient. Yeah, actually his whole channel. That one was really interesting. And when you watch his face, this guy is extreme. Not only is he he's very intuitive, but he's so well researched. I could watch his videos all day. I really could. And I'd even mentioned in one of his videos, like, I never learned this kind of history in school. I actually hated history in high school. I just never really had good history teachers. I mean, he's wonderful. Yeah, so this is the 21 states will collapse first as the USA enters recession in 2026. He created a crisis preparation blueprint. And let's see. Yeah, he's got several channels now. And there was another one. Let's see. There was another one I watched. 1 second. That was good. Okay, let me post this link also for you guys. He's got a great channel. His predictive history channel was so good. He's actually teaching a course, and it was free, and it's ad free, no advertisements in his predictive history class. Let's see. Apparently, the military's behind the gate, trying to see who's good at astral projection to be used as spies. Interesting. I'm going to post the link to my brother's video, his interview, in case anybody has not heard his interview. And then this is kind of important if you're thinking about moving again. Dysfunctional, corrupt city, states, neighborhoods related to harassment of targeted individuals. No, Raymond Valente is my brother. No. No, he's not a lawyer. He worked on Wall Street. Let's see, you guys who can astral project, why don't you now? How handy would that be for us now? The things you could figure out if you knew where to look. I know where to look and can't get there. Oh, you're welcome, STL. Well, it's so interesting. Perhaps we'll have another live stream discussing our individual abilities and if we think that that's one of the reasons why we've been targeted. Let's see, it is possible that astral projection is a military tech dream insertion. I mean, it's certainly possible. I think maybe we're targeted as they know that we have these spiritual abilities and they watch all of us from the time we're young. Well, I as a fact, with your date, time, and place of birth, they can already see your destiny. So these criminals, if they have that information, they can see from your birth chart why you're here. There's a lawyer named yes, there is a lawyer named Ray, but that's not my brother. His last name is not Valente. I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his last name though. It just appears that a lot of targeted people have in their family history military and law enforcement and or some kind of a research scientist. Like my father was targeted. He worked for IBM in the International Research Department. And he was also in the Army. The perps have people with psychic abilities, well, who are sensitive to the astral plane, and they can sense just like some of us can sense them. Yes. I think I have seen one of those. Well, two of them in New Jersey. These are definitely higher level intuitive psychic people. There was one that would just watch me sitting in his car. He was an older man. And then there was another one when I was grocery shopping. He was a younger guy. I mean, he almost looked like he was Middle Eastern. He was kind of attractive, and he was just like leaning up against the wall, watching me shop for food. But it wasn't like he was. It wasn't like he was watching what I was doing. It was almost like he was trying to figure out who I was. It was really weird. It was a very unusual experience. But I think that has something to do with it. I don't see people like that here. I don't actually I don't think there's any well, there probably are people like that here, but I just don't see them. Let's see. I think we're targeted because of our capabilities. It starts when we're young. Usually, initially, it's mostly intel, then target and block your capabilities. I'm forced to reach out to the spiritual realm for self protection. You don't know anything about shamanism, but I have visions, dreams. Did I ever get a new lawnmower? Oh, you're not going to believe the lawnmower thing. He was probably being mind controlled and used as a surveillance tool. You never know. You just never know. There were, like I said, there were two men in New Jersey that weren't your typical stalkers. They weren't harassing me. They were just like watching me. There was one that I saw a couple of times. He was an older guy. I'm going to say maybe he was in his 60s, gray hair, and he was in a huge, very expensive, what is it called? Escalade. An Escalade. He drove an Escalade. And then there was just this younger guy while I was grocery shopping. It was actually in the ethnic food. It was in the Polish, I forget what it's called, the Polish grocery store. It's like I had the same guy come into your store following me, watching me, more like 3 yes, yes. No, these people did not flee. They did not flee. Um, like, I knew he was watching, they're both watching me. And the one who was watching me, the older guy in the Escalade, he was waiting in the Wegmans parking lot. And, like, in New Jersey, like, because I was so busy during the day and stuff, I would usually go grocery shopping at night. 10, 11 o'clock at night, like, before they're gonna close, because it was quiet and I didn't have to worry about the, like, parking and stuff. So, I remember leaving Wegmans with my shopping cart, opening up the back of my car, and turning around, and there he is in the Escalade, just parked there, watching me. And it's not the first time I've seen him. Like, I saw him around the block from my house. And like you said, he this was not your typical this is not your typical stalker neighbor. This was like a three-letter agency guy or whatever. He wasn't threatening. He was just sitting there looking at me. It was weird. But I saw him more than once. And then there was another one. There was like this Asian woman. She was always stalking me also. And she was just watching. Oh, just watching me. It was just very bizarre. You should have seen the three-letter waiting for me at the ferry when I escaped the island. They did everything they could to entrap me, destroy my vehicle, bankrupt my business. Like, this nurse came to your home for your mother, asked if I was a healer, and I said yes. Yeah, yeah, they do. They have a weird, yes, they're very weird. They weren't like they were not the ones that are the provocateurs. They're just like a watcher. It's the only way to describe it. They were watchers, not a provocateur, not a gang stalker, just a watcher. Well, we've kind of determined in another, I think last year, when I did the videos on personality types, that there are personality types that are rare, and there's a high percentage of you guys that are in the rare personality type. Let me go find that. Uh, and then I'm going to end the live stream because it's a little after midnight. Let's see. Where's my search? Okay, here you go. Everybody who's leaving the chat, thank you so much for joining in. I'm just going to post one more link, and then I'm going to be exiting myself. Let me get this one last video here. Okay, Amy got rid of her smartphone for a flip phone, unplugged cameras, and disabled my Wi-Fi. Use the Ethernet now. I wish we could have some kind of central spot, nearby groups where we could meet, the ones who could travel and forward to. The one thing I realized, everybody who's leaving, thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys. Um, I'm part of the reason I purchased such a large portion of land is because I thought that it would be great to have some people come and live here, but it just did not turn out that way. There are a lot of targeted people who do not have a vehicle. There are really no places to live here. I do have a building that's not completed yet. It will probably never be completed, but it's very difficult to get people all in one place. Not everybody wants to live in Kentucky. The weather here is not like California. Let's see. First thing, we'd have to figure out where everybody else is in a safe way. Communication's difficult if you want to be safe. Yes. Maybe someday we could have a convention. Well, I guess it was 2 years ago. I think it was before the TJ lawsuit. I had mentioned to Karen and a couple of other people that I would hold that here. Like, I would have it here. I've definitely got the space. I mean, all it would require would be, renting, some awnings and stuff like that. But I certainly have the space here for people to get together and have like a big meeting, maybe 12, maybe 20 people. And we could never get anything off the ground. So very difficult. We live all over the country. People have different, financial situations to commute and travel. Yet say we should all learn to astral project so we can have a meeting and greet. Are there hotels and motels in your area? Well, there are a couple of little bed and breakfasts, a B and Airbnbs. A little bit out of my area, yes. Out of my immediate area, there are. Like, if I think of Kentucky has bad weather, try living in West Central Pennsylvania. Oh, that's so funny. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to sign off. Thank you all for joining in. It gave us a lot to think about for sure. Um, whether or not it's our psychic abilities, our intuition, they're trying to steal from us. They're stealing everything from us. You know that's what narcissists do. They want to isolate the victim, steal from you, gaslight you, stonewall you. And I hope everybody's doing well for the rest of the evening. And I'm going to sign off for now. Let's see. You're going back to see your mom. Oh, good. Pennsylvania is huge, by the way. It's just so big and it's so pretty. There's some really nice spots in Pennsylvania. It's too bad that your compound idea didn't work out. Oh, it's so pretty. I mean, you've seen photos, right? I mean, there are so many places to live on my property. Like for a tiny home, camp out, or whatever. It's like I already have the Wi-Fi, I already have the electricity. There's already water here, and wow, I mean, if you want to be targeted really well, come and live here. Actually, you probably won't be targeted as badly if there's a lot of people here. They'll give them a run for their money. But anyway, have a good night, everybody. And remember to hit the thumbs up before you leave if you haven't already hit the thumbs up. Okay, have a good night, everybody. I'm going to sign off and end the live stream.